Genting is obviously a large corporation. You're in multiple areas around the world. And I have this really kind of interesting question I was thinking about is how is Resorts World Las Vegas going to take advantage of its corporate ties in leisure and hospitality with your sister properties in Singapore, Malaysia, the United Kingdom, the Bahamas, and of course in New York?
I think having that diverse global footprint allows us in the different platforms. In Malaysia, we're a monopoly, we're a duopoly in Singapore, and also we have affiliations with the cruise lines. And if you think about all these different jurisdictions, obviously they're all heavily regulated, but each one goes out and develops their own guest journey. I think we're in year 10 where our Resorts World Genting in Malaysia has developed the e-wallet solution many years before even it was adopted in the United States. And with our properties in New York on the East Coast being more a day visit, and really that's the market, that regional market, is they're looking to aspire to say, how can I utilize points? How can I utilize an exchange of points across the platform? So it's no longer, well, if you earn X points in this jurisdiction, we're going to convert to this points. We actually have a platform that's called Genting Rewards Alliance, which actually connects all of our loyalty programs together, even though we're independent in each jurisdiction, which allows us the freedom to try different things and introduce different products like the medallions that we're doing here. Because what we're ending up doing at the end is really taking that guest and creating one-to-one marketing. It's no longer invite me to XYZ concert, which I've never went to a concert. I've never experienced a concert before. So now we can take the profile of the guest based on utilization, whether that's at gaming, restaurants, hotel, room type, and really create that itinerary that's targeting them personally. And we think in the long run that will inspire the individual to say, wow, they understand who I am. They're just not throwing a blanket out there and saying, wow, come and see me. And I think that's really different.
And as we think about this one-to-one, it's not just it's really all the amenities that you're putting together that the guests can take advantage of, and it's almost like solving the guest problems before they even know they have the problem. And how, as you think about amenities and this luxury experience, how is that all coming together as Resorts World?
In today's world, like Sandy mentioned before, everybody's using their phone. So we'll have all that data on the back end, and we'll be able to capture that on a one-on-one experience. So long term, as we keep building up our databases and our profiling of the individual consumer, we'll be able to target them individually. And then when they come to this property, they'll see a fabulous experience with the, again, the technology we've put on the property.
Do you have the technology where, so when I walk in and I have it on my phone, automatically you know that I'm on the property and someone's going to
before you get on property. So, based off of your settings on your mobile app, as you cross state line or you land at McCarran, we want to message you. We want to make sure as you drive into the porte-cochere and valet your car, your ticket is now on your phone instead of a piece of paper. So every step of the journey of the guest will be on the mobile.
So I envision, as you're talking, I'm not going to walk into Resorts World and see thousands of people lining up waiting to check in.
Correct.
Because it'll all be...
All should be seamless and digital.
Yep, you can digitally or mobile check in as you're pulling in, as you're driving, while you're in the lobby. We have a digital key. You don't need to get a physical key. So yes, that'll all be through the mobile.
And I think that's what Sandy was saying earlier. So what also helps, we're talking about the guest a lot, but what helps is when that person crosses state line or crosses McCarran, that trigger starts, and our in-house guest service attendants from the hotel, restaurants, whatever it might be, understand that, okay, her ETA is an hour away or 30 minutes away. So there's no longer, oh, we don't have a room ready for you. These are prompts that helps us be proactive versus reactive when a guest shows up. And I think that is a game differentiator in this marketplace, because we've all seen the long queues on a Thursday night or Friday trying to check in, and these are individuals who have incremental revenue, disposable income, in which they wish to spend, but yet they're queuing. So we've eliminated, to the best that we can, those lines and those queues. And as we grow and as we continue to operate year over year, what you'll see is less lines and more people engaged in enjoying their destination of choice.
So as we think about this, and we think about gaming, and obviously gaming is changing, right? that the person who the games they used to play in the past may be changing in the future. How have you sort of looked ahead in terms of the gaming devices that you're putting on the property to kind of take advantage of all the different type of customer segments who are coming in? Have you really looked at new types of games and that are being developed? Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think from the technology side, if you just talk about the experience itself, and this is where I think it's great as Genting as a whole and global footprint, is we leverage on the gaming side, table games specifically, technologies to help boost, let's say, hand speeds or other drivers to understand the guests themselves as far as their worth and so forth on a game from a theoretical basis. We partnered with, I think it was Walker Digital Table Systems. So now we have 100% accuracy potentially on a customer's activity of game, which actually makes them more valuable to us because now we can really say true sense of worth. And Rick as well with ETGs and so forth, introducing them not as an afterthought because it's a trend, but because it's part of our core in our Asia properties where we have a couple thousand of these units out there because that handles the introduction to a game at a lower table limit, and also can help create confidence in that guest as they carry their journey through gaming. What do you think, Rick?
Yeah, and so when you talk about product, right? We were afforded the opportunity to bring on the latest products that all of the manufacturers have. To Donnie's point, right? We were able to be more strategic with our electronic table games approach and make sure that we're merchandising and providing those products. But at the end of the day, there are slot machines that are widely available to everybody and table games that are widely available. The technology that we're deploying helps differentiate that gaming experience. The RFID chips at the table, right? That isn't just for us to track. It's so that the guests can have convenience. Customers that want to be rated and have their play tracked, used customarily at any property in Las Vegas, they have to wait for somebody to observe their play. RFID tracking does all of that for them. The different payouts that you get by having RFID and knowing exactly what the payouts should be allows the dealers to be able to be more accurate, and you can have different side bets on the different baccarat games. And so that technology really allows the guest to have a much better experience throughout the gaming environment than we typically see right now in the casino.
So I'm not going to see a person standing in the center kind of looking around, writing on pieces of paper and putting the paper in their pocket.
That's right.
Paperless. Or paperless.
That is exactly right. A guest walks up, they either present their real physical card to the dealer, and the dealer will swipe them and log them in, or they'll show their digital card on the phone and we'll scan it. And then from then on, everything is being tracked accurately. Now the floor supervisor is actually able to talk to the guests and provide that service versus having to spend time guessing at what the average bets were and having the manual sheet.
So that sounds like they'll be able to really spend a lot of time. It's really about creating this customer experience. So when I'm sitting at playing, I'm actually talking to the dealer, and we're really creating that. It's fun. It's going to be really fun playing.
And it all began with the guest journey. When we didn't introduce technology for technology's sake. We mapped out the guest journey. What are all of the friction points that we want to correct from our past? What are all of those new things that we want to introduce to really create a differentiated guest experience?